Hello, I'm Courtney Holland. Welcome to Save Our Towns, a series designed to guide and inspire those who are working hard in Appalachia to build strong communities. The episodes, created by Outreach and International Affairs at Virginia Tech, aim to celebrate what is great about small towns and also connect you with experts, resources, and more. In this episode, you'll see why a statewide magazine featured Fincastle, Virginia. Small Town, Big Number includes some stunning photos of the Devil's Bathtub in Southwest Virginia. You will learn why it shows up in a new multi-state report. Diane Deffenbaugh is back with an update on Glade Spring, the town we're following for a year. And later, learn what you'll need to attract tourists to your town. First, your example of awesome story. The tiny town of Fincastle, Virginia sought to make a major change, a step not taken since the town was established in 1772. A first attempt failed, but after learning vital lessons about consensus building, the town tried again. Andrea Brunei reports.
Not every town can boast of pre-revolutionary roots and a connection to Lewis and Clark. Fincastle, Virginia, once the last stop on the Great Wilderness Road to the west, is a town that touts its history. Fincastle's website describes life in the 1700s as a hive of blacksmiths, taverns, saddle shops, millers, livery stables, wheelwrights, and more. Fast forward a couple hundred years, and the tiny town's boundaries had remained unchanged. In 2005, town leaders decided Fincastle needed to grow. But the first effort failed. At the time, Fincastle didn't have a town manager. The town council was handling the project when Botetourt County officials rejected redrawn boundaries on a 3-2 vote.
I don't think they had a really good plan for what they wanted to do with the new area. I think they ran across some questions that they weren't able to answer with the citizens. I also think that the Board of Supervisors member had one idea of what he wanted the new boundary to be, and the town council had kind of another idea, and so when they weren't able to come together on that, I think that's ultimately what ended up in the defeat.
Years passed after that 2005 attempt, but the town council did not let the idea go. Even being the county seat, Fincastle covered just 151 acres, less than half the size of the average American family farm. Its heritage and diminutive size allowed the entire town to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1969. But even the town's 2 municipal wells were not on town property. And because of where the boundaries lay, nearby businesses' license fees and meals taxes went not into town coffers but instead enriched the county. When David Tickner did his job interview in 2010, the town council posed a hypothetical question.
You work in a small town that would like a boundary adjustment, but the county may not be in favor of it. What do you do? And so that was a clear message to me from day one that was going to be an agenda item.
Tickner started laying the groundwork immediately in 2010, working closely with county officials on all new town ordinances and codes. He also made sure the town council understood the need for consensus building and finding common ground. Even though none of the new residents would be forced to pay higher taxes, some people had been riled up during the previous attempt. News accounts cited people fearing farm animals, such as these goats, would no longer be welcome if they were drawn into town limits, and some people were wary of top-down management by the town. The town's approach was totally different in 2017. Town officials and staff took pains to point out the benefits, and everyone from the mayor down was prepared to explain the rationale behind the expansion. One benefit was that more people would have input into the process of predicted development along US 220. Communicating those benefits was key in writing and at meetings.
They weren't public hearings. We had several different stations set up in a room so people could talk more informally with members of council and staff rather than in a public hearing format, which can be a little bit intimidating. We talked to them about the benefits of being in town and how they could help plan for the future of Fincastle and preserve Fincastle's historic resources. And so we kind of anticipated what some questions folks might have. Will my property taxes go up? How will this affect my zoning and my land use?
Years of preparation, plus making a strong case to residents throughout 2017, paid off. The County Board of Supervisors voted yes in early 2018, with Circuit Court approval coming through soon after. The town's effort was so comprehensive that Virginia Municipal League magazine shared details in a 4-page spread.
As in any public hearing process or land use process, you may have folks that come and are very upset about things, speak at hearings and have objections. There were about 25 folks in attendance. No one spoke in opposition, and everyone else who was there was in favor of the boundary adjustment.
No new taxes, but the enlargement produced more revenues. With boundaries revised for the first time since 1772, Fincastle swelled from 335 to 550 residents and jumped to more than 1,300 acres, 2 square miles of land. Now that the conversation about size is over, the town can go back to showing off its uniqueness as a museum of American architecture spanning 2 centuries, including the courthouse they say Thomas Jefferson designed.
If nothing much changed in Fincastle for 200 years, elsewhere in the region, coal mining drastically altered the terrain. In Small Town Big Number, you'll learn about some surprising ways former coal mining lands are bringing cash back into town coffers.
Throughout Appalachia, some towns have been creative in finding new uses for old coal mining sites, with ideas designed to bring in cash. Industrial parks, for instance, are a good fit on land flattened by mining, such as this park in Pikeville, Kentucky, under construction in 2018. Turning land over to farming is another idea. Lavender has taken root in West Virginia, where more than one community has established the crop in poor, rocky soils. Virginia Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine have become 2 of the 6 2019 sponsors of the Reclaim Act. This long-pending bill in Congress would release $1 billion in federal abandoned mine land funds. The senators want the money to boost economic development projects, which brings us to today's number. 20. 20 is the number of places in former coalfield country that could become newly viable, according to a report by a coalition of stakeholders in 4 central Appalachian states. The report, with examples from Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, proposes ideas for projects and also illustrates some that are underway. 2 of the Southwest Virginia projects featured are funded in part by public money. The Devil's Bathtub near Fort Blackmore is no longer just a well-kept secret visited mostly by locals. Trail improvements have inspired tourism in such numbers that more upgrades are needed for access and parking. The report says investment of $260,000 is projected to generate $616,000 for the local economy. The report also identifies Southwest Virginia as a prime location for an emerging solar industry. In fact, of 10 new economic development projects unveiled in the Commonwealth in March 2019, among the largest was a $500,000 solar farm on a site last mined in 1957. Chances are good that you live near a place affected by coal mining, but even if you don't, you might want to take a look at the report titled Many Voices, Many Solutions, which can be found on the downstreamstrategies.com or at voices.org websites. And keep an eye on the Reclaim Act in Congress. One of these days, that $1 billion just might be released into our towns.
Imagine what billions of dollars could do in your town, or in Glade Spring, which makes its reappearance in this update.
Glade Spring's new mayor, Leanne Lloyd, is concerned about gathering places. She wants vibrant public spaces to add to the town's charm. Town officials, crafting a capital improvement plan, are seeking residents' views.
Before we spend money, we want to make sure that the citizens and council are all on the same page.
Glade Spring boasts one of the few indoor farmers markets in the region, enabling year-round use. Called The Point, the space can be rented and also hosts events such as fundraisers, dances, and concerts. The building was built in 2017, but
Hoops and roadblocks that came along the way, they didn't complete it to the point that they wanted.
the town plans to add a stage, kitchen, and sidewalks, with grants helping fund some of the work. Mayor Lloyd also wants to give attention to the recreation field, which includes a community center, picnic pavilion, and playground. She hopes improvements will help drive more rentals of the building, as well as improve safety for children on the playground.
It's seen its age and it just needs a facelift, and our playground equipment is in a dire need of being replaced with something else.
But will Lloyd's vision line up with what the public wants and what the town can accomplish? Will grant money come in as planned? We'll update you in future episodes.
Remember Fincastle with its historic downtown? All your town needs is one cool feature or asset, according to Sandra Tanner with the Virginia Tourism Corporation. From there, she says, you can start planning for the other things needed for a town to become a destination.
The town can build on that if they can start recruiting coffee shops and craft breweries and things like that. At that point, that little town becomes a destination because there are a lot of different things for people to come and do. They only have one asset to start off with. They're that really cool spoke, and then we can turn it into a hub.
You can read a transcript of the complete interview at the Save Our Towns website, where Tanner makes the case that every town, no matter how small, has the potential to attract tourists. Click on the Connect with Experts tab. Later, 3 Questions for a Mayor puts Wayne Craig of Abingdon, Virginia on the other side of the microphone. But first, a reminder about Virginia Cooperative Extension. Extension agents and specialists live and work around the Commonwealth dedicated to subjects such as livestock quality, health and wellness, and financial planning. On the Save Our Towns website, click on the Extension tab. There you can learn much more. You'll find extension agents listed along with their areas of expertise and contact information. Next, in 3 Questions, Abingdon's mayor takes us behind the scenes of a controversial land development.
Wayne Craig. I'm the mayor of Abingdon, Virginia. Historically significant. We are the first county seat in this whole area. This is where the first court was held. We are the location of the Barter Theater, the State Theater of Virginia, and the home of the Martha Washington Inn. Our town became somewhat divided. We have had a large turnover of staff. The division was over whether or not to do a major development in our town. The Meadows. It's a location of a 60,000 square foot food city grocery store that with a large retail component consisting of a pet store, a number of fast food restaurants. Traffic was a major issue. The Meadows had some historical significance, and that created heartburn for some of our citizens. The impact on the surrounding neighborhood in terms of light, noise, etc. We are striving hard to heal our town so we can move forward in a positive direction and take advantage of the significant revenues from the new development. I want them to come here and see for themselves how beautiful it is. We're in the mountains. It has a tremendous view shed. Our downtown is beautiful. We're the home of the Creeper Trail, the Creeper Trailhead. We have an urban path that goes through town that you see beautiful historic homes. We'd like for people to come and see what Abingdon is like.
Would you like to nominate your town for an Examples of Awesome story? If so, we'd love to hear from you. To view past episodes and to dive deeper into resources and a wealth of information about small towns, go to the Save Our Towns website. And please send your thoughts to saveourtowns@vt.edu. We read and respond to every email. This is episode 2 of season 6. Thanks for watching.